Hope my screen is visible to everyone. Okay, so till now we have seen a few theoretical items, right? Like for example, how to create a package and how to create a table, the concept of the table and all. So let's just revise that one. Yeah, so we have seen the shortcuts first. That is, if you're using /n plus any T code name, that will replace my existing session. If I use /o plus any of my T code name, then it will create a new session. And if I use /nex, it will log out of all the sessions. So let's see this in live. This is the SAP server by which you can connect to your SAP. So yeah, a gentle reminder to everyone, if you haven't completed your registration yet, please do complete it quickly so that you'll be getting the server accesses. Right, so this is my initial screen of SAP. This is the first screen. So whenever you log in into anywhere SAP system, this is what you'll initially see. And I've also shown you the concept of server and client, right? So this is nothing but my server. So the unique number that you see here on top, so this is called as my server. This is server name. And here if you see, there is something called as client. This client 500. So the client that we currently use throughout the session in this, the client belongs to 500. And here if you see, there is a system ID S4H it is, right? So S4H is the current system ID of this system. Like example, I have shown you DE1, QE1, PE1, right? In the examples we've seen that. So similarly, since it's a test system, it starts with S4H. That means this is a HANA system, completely HANA system. So we'll have our total training, total practice, everything on the HANA system itself. Right, so this is the initial scene, first screen of SAP. So here let's see the shortcut commands. For example, first I'll write /n SE11. So SE11 is for data dictionary. So if I just give /n SE11 enter, see it went into my ABAP dictionary first screen, right? So if you see, the previous session which I had was replaced with this session. Let me try again. So /n SE11. I'm giving again the same command. Again, it got replaced with the same one. If I give /o instead, right, /o same code SE11, enter. See, it created a new session here. This is my new session. How to identify the current session number? On the bottom corner here, if you say S4H bracket 1, then 500. So S4H is your system name, 500 is your client name. The number that you see inside bracket is the number of sessions that you have opened. So for example, this is a session number 1. If I move to the next one, it's a session number 2. So this is how you identify the number of sessions. Okay, and the maximum number of parallel sessions that you can open in a project system is only 6. But here we've identified that students need more than 6 sessions, to practice sometimes. So that is the reason the restriction is lifted off from here. So if I open, let's say, I'm clicking on Control N to open new session, new empty session. See, I can also open 7 sessions here. So like this, you can open n number of sessions instead of restricting it to only 6 sessions, because it was trouble to few students who were practicing on multiple sessions. So that's the reason we've increased it to more. So, but in your project, it won't behave like this. You will not get more than 6 sessions in parallel. So now we'll see the last command, that is /n/ex. So now here, if you see, I have less 11 sessions open, right? So all these are 11 sessions. So if I normally have to log off from SAP, then I'll have to individually close each and every system. But by here, top right corner, this X mark, I'll have to keep on clicking like this to close those number of sessions. But instead, if I use this command /n/ex, enter, see, it completely came out of my SAP. So I got logged out. All the sessions are closed and I completely logged off from my SAP. So these are the 3 shortcuts in SAP. To log in back, right. again the first screen of SAP. Then before that also we have seen a few concepts like categories of package and also today we will see how to create a package. So package is nothing but a folder which is used to store your objects. It's a collection of objects. Okay, and the T code for package is SEAT. So you don't remember like these T codes are confusing and all. Don't think like that because I'll be giving you a small word notepad document in which the most important T codes that we generally use every day will be listed. So just by heart, just remember those T codes from that notepad. That would be enough for you people. So there aren't more. There are around 15, 20 T codes that we normally use every day, right? So SEAT is the T code for creating my package. Enter. So this field is called as a command field here. So this editable field from which I'm giving my T codes, this is called as a command field. So we give our T code names in command field. So I try to create a package z test abap one. So after there's a drop down here. So there might be a situation wherein when you directly navigate to this screen, this is called as object navigator screen SEAT. So it could be in any other drop down method here. Like for example, it is in the function. So first thing that we'll have to do after coming to SEAT is click on this drop down icon here, which is object category. Click on this arrow, then you will see all the objects that are there in the SAP. So all these are not related to ABAP, don't worry. Then we'll select whatever we need. First we need package, so we'll select package. Then we'll give the package name that we want to create. For example, I want to create ztest ABAP 1. Then there is a small glass icon here, display it says. So we have to click on this. See, it says package does not exist. Do you want to create the object? Yes, I want to create the object. So I'll click on yes. Then it will ask for some details like short description. What is the description of my package? I'll just give test package for ABAP. Then application component. So at any time if you're confused or if you're not sure what to give on any field, then there is something called as an SAP F4 help. So the icon, the small icon that you see here, the window icon, like the small boxes icon here, this is called as an F4 help or a search help. So this is available only on few items. For example, if I take my cursor to short description, you see it's not there. Here it's not there. Here it's there. Here it's there, right? So whenever you see this icon, you can click on it. It will give you some options like this, for example. So application component is nothing but under which functional area do you want to create this package, because there are few projects wherein they'll have a separate package for each functional module, right? So for example, if I'm into SD, if I'm doing some developments for SD, then I'll have to select the application component as SD from here. If I'm doing some developments for MM, then I'll have to select for MM, right? So here it says SD, it says MM. So these are all the functional areas. It says finance, accounting, etc., etc. So depending on the object that you're going to create, for which functional team are you going to create, you'll have to select that appropriate application component. So first, let's say I am creating it for SD. So I either select this and click on choose. This is one option to select it, or I can just double click on it. Okay, so let me double click and show you first, or let me just normally show you. First, I'll select this and I'll click on choose here. The SD got selected. Now let me see by double clicking on it. Right, I'm into SD, so I'll double click this. Again, it will be selected. So to select any entry, you can either double click on that item or select that and click on OK, choose. Then transport layer, this will be by defaultly filled. So here it says SAP, so I'll give only SAP. This will be different in every project. Depending on that, you can give this transport layer. Don't worry, because anyway, when you get into any project, they'll give you the KT on how the things work. So at that time, they'll share all this information that I'm giving here. I don't want a super package. We never create a super package. Then what is a package type? It should be development package. So we'll just keep this as it is and we'll click on continue. Then you see, what is it asking? It's asking for a transport request. Right? It says prompt for local workbench request. If you remember, we've seen two categories of transport request. One is a workbench request, second is a customizing request. But ABAP team uses mostly workbench request, right? 90% of the time we'll create a workbench request only. So see, it's prompting me for a local workbench request. It's by defaultly picking some TR. Normally this will happen. So what we have to do is there is a create icon here. You see, create request. This icon. So we have to click on this. When you get this prompt to select a TR, click on create. Then give some short description. Package for ABAP. So this is my description. Don't give anything else. All the remaining things are auto filled. Just click on save. There is an icon here, right? Save. See, it generated a new request. See the sequence how it generated S4H. S4H is my system name. First, it will take my system name, then K followed by a unique series number. This is my unique number. System name K unique number. No matter what project you are into, this sequence will be seen. First, you will have your system name, then K, then your unique number that system generates. Okay, so once you have created your TR, just click on OK. Continue. Right. So my Z test ABAP one is created. So once it's created, you can see it in here under object names. It says Z test ABAP, right? Just double click on it. If you double click, you will see all the details on the right side. So these are the same details that we filled previously, right? Short description we have filled, application component we have filled. So this created by and all will be filled by default. So this is my user ID. So this is the same my user ID that which I'm logging in. So it took my name here, and this is the date that I've created on. This is the time. Sorry, time is not saved here. I think only it's only date. Right, transport layer you chosen as SAP, and the software component was by default it picked it. Right, these all tabs are not necessary for us at all. We will never ever use all these tabs. We'll never change these tabs. We will only use this first tab, properties tab, in which we'll see the details that we have given. So this is how you create a package. So any doubts, anyone, on how to create a package? Okay. So after creating the package, so now you know what exactly is a package. So now let's see how to create a table by using local object. So you can save your object either in a transport request or a local object, correct? So now let's see how to save our objects in local request. So we'll try to create a table now. SC11 is the T code for data dictionary via which we can create our table. So don't worry, even the T code names are available in the normal documentation that we'll be sharing. So now here, if you see, there are multiple options to create multiple objects. So first, since we are creating a database table, so here I'll give Z. See, if you observe, I'm giving Z in the beginning. Why? Because SAP will allow only Y and Z at the beginning. It will not allow anything else at the beginning. So, and again, in between Y and Z, most of the projects out there will use Z. So that is the reason I'm using Z. So even I also ask you people to use Z only. Whenever you create any object for practice purposes, also use Z, because that way, you will be exposed to what the the current projects are doing. So I'll give Z employee underscore data, right? Z employee data. I'll click on create here. Someone already used it, I think. underscore 1. I'll create, see, observe the constraints, etc. So 1. Then first that you'll have to see fill is short description. I'll fill employee data table, right? Then there is a concept called as delivery class. So if you just click on it, see again you got this search help icon here. Just click on that. So these are all the possible entries that you can give here. For example, B is not here now, so I cannot write B here. System will not take it. If I write B, see, I'm not getting it at all right here. So it will not take it at all. So we have to choose only those options that are available from our search help or F4 help here. Right, so first it says now how to choose, which one to choose or which one to select. So 90% of the times we will only choose two options, that is either application table or customizing table, right? So in application table is nothing but master and transaction data, so you don't need to worry what is master data, what is transaction data and all. This information will be given to you by your functional team only. So I said, na, like you will get your verbal communication and you will get your initial documentation from your functional team. So this, all these details will be mentioned in that document itself, like what kind of table do I want to have, what should be the class, what should be the browser, etc., etc. All these things will be mentioned in that. So for now, let's say I want to create an application table for my master and transaction data. So we'll choose A. So mostly you'll choose either A or C, mostly. You will not choose any of this. I have never selected any of this. It's either A or C. That's it. Then you see here, it says table or maintenance allowed with restrictions. So maintenance is nothing but whenever we want to add any data or remove any data or modify any existing data, that is called as maintenance. Okay, display is nothing but display to see the data. Maintenance is nothing but maintain the data, right? Change the data, create the data, or delete the data, or all this is called as maintenance. So here it says display maintenance allowed with restrictions, right? By default. But I don't want to put any restrictions. I want to allow the editing of data. 90% of cases you will choose only this, maintenance allowed, because if you're creating a table, someone has to add data into it, right? You don't want to restrict them to add data into it. So what is the purpose of creating a table if you're creating restrictions? So that's the reason we'll never choose that. We'll mostly 90% of the case we'll choose display maintenance allowed. Then we'll move on to the second tab that says fields, right? In fields we'll give all the column names. For example, if we take this example only that we've seen, let's say this one. So we'll try to recreate this same table in SAP. Okay, so first my column name is employee number. So here I'll give emp underscore no. So here I have told you a concept of primary key, right? So this blue color thing highlighted here is, it's called as a primary key. Here if you see, there is a column called as key. So if I check this checkbox, it will be a key field. That's it. We don't need to do anything else. We just need to click this checkbox. Then there is a checkbox called as initial values. See, initial value is nothing but a default value that SAP will take for this particular field, right? So I'll tell you what are those default values also when we exactly get into code. I'll show you the character names, etc., etc. So but for now, remember, if you're selecting key field, make sure you're selecting initial value also. It's better to select it. Normally it's as per the protocol that we have to select initial checkbox also if you're making it as a key. So for now, check it. Then there is a thing called as a data element. So data element is nothing but a component in SAP which is used to show your field labels, right? It's fine if you don't, if you're not getting it. So I'll show you exactly by creating it. Okay. So for example, I'll create Z emp underscore no2. Okay. This is my data element name. So once you have given your data element name, just click on enter. What does it say? emp underscore no2 is not active. That means this data element is not existing in the system and I'm trying to create a data element. So I'll create it. How to create it? There are two ways to create it. There are two ways to create a table. One is called as a top down approach. Second is called as a bottom up approach. Okay. This is called top down approach. In this, I'll give bottom approach. Right. So in top down approach, first we'll create the table, then we'll create data element, then we'll create domain. Right. This is the top down approach. First we'll create the table, by using which we'll create a data element. By using data element we'll create a domain. But whereas in bottom top approach, first we'll create domain, reverse of top down. Then we'll create data element, then we'll create table. So these are the two ways on how we can create a normally how to create a table, right? And among these two, first option is easier one. So I'll show you why. First option is easier to first create a table rather than a domain in data element. So that is the same approach that we're using now, and this is the same approach you will be using in your projects also, right? So we'll give real time. When I say real time training, so this is what is real time training. So we'll use exactly the same process that you use in your project. So first we've created a table already, then I'm filling out the fields. Now I'll have to create my data element. So how to create a data element? First click on enter. If it's not existing in the system, then double click on your data element. Okay, I just double clicked. Let me show you again. So after filling your data element, double click. See, you'll get this pop-up which says Z employee data one was changed because I'm changing my data, right? I haven't saved my table yet. So do you want to save before exiting editing? Yes, I want to save my changes in my table. Then it says package. See, earlier we've created a package. So whenever you want to save any transparent table, any object in any package, you will have to give that package here. Right? If I give Z ABAP one here, then it will be saved in a package. But we want to see an example of creating it in the local object instead of a transport request, right? So I'll click on local object here. You see there is a button here called as local object, this button. So I'll just click on this local object button. It says specify client application. Okay, I'll show you that later, but see, it says data element does not exist. Do you want to create the data element? My answer is yes, I want to create. So I'll click on yes. See, it's asking for a short description, so I'll just give employee number. Then it's asking for a domain here. So there are two ways to create a domain. One is using elementary type. That means I have to create a domain here, right? I'll have to create a domain name here, and from that domain name I'll have to define my data type, length and all. So we'll see that first. So first, let's say I want to create my domain, so I'll give the same name as my data element. You can give any name, like as per your project standards you can give. Right, so you can give any name as per your project standards. Again, what happened to this? Right, so I'm giving my domain name. After doing the again repeat the same thing that we have repeated earlier. If we don't know if it's available or not, so I'll click on enter. It says no domain active in the system. So what we have to do, we have to double click on this on this domain again. So earlier we double clicked on the data element to create it. Now we'll double click on domain to create it. Double click. It says again data element is changed. You do want to save? Yes, I want to save. Then you see $TMP. Like 2 days ago, we have seen package $TMP. So whenever you save anything in local object, that will be saved in your $TMP package. So this is a temporary package that gets created in the system automatically. Right? I'll just click on local object again. So it says domain does not exist. Create the domain. Yes. First, I'll fill the short description. Again, same employee number. So the purpose of the domain is to give a data type to my field. So from data type, if I click on again For help, you see these many data types are available in the system, but we will not use any of these data types. We'll use 4 to 5 data types in general daily. That's it. So we'll use character, we'll use date, we'll use integer, we'll use numeric. Normally, these are the 4 different data types that we generally use. So now I want to give it as a character. Character will accept both numbers and letters, right? ABC, it will accept ABC, A to Z, and also it will accept numbers. So character is the best thing. Like if you're not sure what kind of data will be maintained in this column, in those cases, better to choose character because it will accept both alphanumeric values, both alphabets, numbers, commas, symbols, everything it will accept. So I'll give character here, character string. Then we'll have to specify the length of my character. Like, I mean, how long will my employee number be? So that length I'll have to say, let's say 10. So 10 should be my length. Then click on enter. Then, so see, you have 3 options to save and activate your data. So anything, any object that you create in SAP has to be activated, okay, before it can be used. So here on top, you see some symbols. So from this, so this symbol is called as check. So you don't need to worry like if you are confused on what button is what, just take your cursor onto that particular icon. For example, if I take it here, it says previous object here, display change here, other object here, check. Yes. So click on check. It says see the saved version of this object is checked. You want to save this object. Yes, I want to save the object. Again, since I haven't saved my domain yet, it is asking for a local package again. So I'll choose local object. See, it says no inconsistencies found. That means my domain is correct. So then after checking it, there is a icon called as activate here. Huh? So this we'll have to click. Enter. So done. It says object activated. You see the status of my domain is changed now to active state. Earlier it was new. Now it changed it to active. Right. So first at any given point of time when you are creating an object, first thing is to save your object, then do a check, then do a save, sorry, activate. Save, check, activate, save, check, activate, right? This is the normal process that we follow. There is another method to do all these things in parallel. So see, if you see here data element, what is the status of this? It says new, correct? Because I have not saved, I have not activated this. I only saved it, but I have not activated it. That is the reason it says new. So I can directly go ahead here and click on activate. So what activate will do is it will save, it will check, and it will then activate. So activate will act as 3 things. First, it will save your data, so save your changes. It will check whether if there is any error, then it will activate. So if I directly click on activate, see it happened, no problem at all. Right, in data element, okay, I'll go back. See here it again says name. So we cannot activate it yet here table because there are also other things that we'll have to do here. So then let me give second column name. The second column name is employee first name. Right, this should not be a key field. For now, we'll see the example of only one key field, how it works in the system. So ZEMP_NAMEF. Okay, since it's first name, I'll click on enter. Someone already created it, so that's the reason I'm by defaultly getting it, right? F. Let's see if your domain is also there. Right, someone have also assigned a domain to it. Okay, fine, because it's already there, let's not spend time in again creating a new data element. We'll use this. So if the domain is already existing in the system now, that means you can use it off, because there are also other people keep practicing every day in the same server, right? So they might have created this domain already. So then I'll give L name. L means last name. So let's see if this is also existing. It's existing, so fine. I'll not give that. Let's see, L1, not there, no? So I'll show you another way to create a domain. So first this domain data element name. So after that, double click on your data element, click on save, yes. Then it will ask you to create a data element, yes. Then I'll fill this last name employee, right? So here I shown you to use a domain first. Now we'll see a built-in type here. So here it says built-in type. So directly here you can give your character name or length. Okay, without creating any domain, you can directly specify it here. Earlier what we did, first we created a domain, we went into the domain, and inside the domain we gave the type, data type and length. But here we can directly give by using a built-in type. So here I'll put, see, you'll again get the same options here also. See, same options you got. So again want to have a character string because numeric alphabet values I want. So then I'll give last name length, most length can be 20. So I click on enter, char 20. So char 20 is my data type name. So see, I'm not saving my data, I'm not checking my object. So I'll directly click on activate. Let's see what happens. It's, see, first it's asking me to save. So I want to save it in a local object. Maintain field label is an information message. Enter. Right? See, my object saved and activated, and the status of my data element is also changed it to active. So I'll show you what is a field label when maintaining the data in this table. So for now, just see how to create and activate your data element. So see, it's activated now. So this is another way to create a field. So what was the first way? We have to maintain our field, create a data element, then create a domain. This is one way of doing it. Right, second field is also created in the same way. First field, then data element, then inside we have domain. This is how it's created. But coming to the last one, what we did, we created the data element, but we did not create the domain for it. We directly used built-in type, that is char 20. This is one way to assign a field. There is another way to do it. Then it says gender. So I'll put gender. I'll use, so instead of creating a domain or a data element, you can also directly use types here. For example, I say char 6 or char 10. Okay, that's the gender length I want to be. So I want it to be character with length 10. So I'll just give char 10 without any space, char 10, enter. See, it got created. So this is the third way of assigning a field. First, create a data element, create a domain. Second, create the data element but no need of a domain, use the built-in type. Third, don't create a data element or don't create a domain, directly you can give your data type here. There is a liability, there is a disadvantage of using it directly like this. I'll show you why we don't, why should we not use it like this. Although SAP gave us the provision of using it like this, there is a small problem that why we should not use it. I'll show you exactly in a minute why we should not use it. So finally we have mail. So for mail also, let's say I'll give char 30 directly, instead of creating anything I'll give char 30. So once all my fields are filled here, I'll click on check. It will give me some errors, but let's see what all those errors are. See, enhancement category is missing. Enhancement category for table or subtype is missing. This is first check. That is a warning message. So at any given point of time, you can ignore your warnings. Okay. At any object, you don't need to worry about warnings. You can ignore those warnings. So now I click on activate. Let's see if it can activate or not. See, it did not activate my table. Instead, it got me into this new screen. Let's see again. Yeah, it will not take back, I think, because it's a mandatory field. Fine. Okay. See, you cannot activate a table without defining your technical settings. Okay. When I clicked on activate, instead of activating it completely, it got into this screen. Like it says define technical settings. So we'll have to define our technical settings here. I'll show you how to navigate to technical settings also once I fill this, because this is a mandatory field here. So if you see this particular icon anywhere in the system, this icon, box with a check, right? This is a box with a check. This is a mandatory field. We have to fill it. You cannot move to any other screen without filling it. Okay, this is mandatory. Right here again it says master data, transaction data, organization data, etc. etc. You don't need to worry about data types. All this information will be given to you by your functional consultant. So for now I'll choose transaction data. Then size category, normally we use only 0. So this size category means the number of records that we will have in the table. See, when I'm giving 0, it says table with less than 500k. That means it can have less than 500,000 records, 5 lakh records. If I give 1, say less than 1.5 MB or tables with 160 MB. Oh, sorry, it's memory actually, it's memory. Okay, so like this. So but mostly in general we'll only have zeros. We'll by default give 0 every time. Then we have a concept of buffering. We will never use it, so always make sure buffering is not allowed. Then at the end you see there is a checkbox called as log changes. So what this will do is, whenever I want to see who made changes in my table, if you check this checkbox, that can be seen. For now let's skip it. I'll show you this when we get into table maintenance generator, TMG. Okay, so these are all the general properties. So what we fill in the general properties first, data class, that is APPL1 or anything 0, 1, 2, 3, depending on the data that your functional team will tell you. Then size category, by default we should make it 0. Buffering not allowed. Ignore about the other things. So these are the normal values that we have to mandatorily give. After giving it, click on check. Yes, enter. It says warnings occurred. You want to see? If you want, you can see. Again, it's showing me the same thing. Enhancement category missing. But see, now my table is active. Earlier it was new. Now it's active. Here you see a button called as technical settings. So this is the same button that we were into. So if I click on this, see, technical settings. Right, so if you do not define your technical settings, so in ECC systems what happens is, if you directly activate it without giving technical settings, it will give you an error on the screen saying technical settings is missing. But in HANA system, since you are in the HANA system, while activating it, it will directly take you to that screen that technical settings is not defined, so you'll have to define it. That is the difference between ECC and HANA system. So in ECC system it will give an error in the bottom, or you will get a pop-up saying technical settings of the table are missing or not active. But here instead it will directly take you to the technical settings. Here there is another tab called as DB specific properties. So this tab again is only available in your HANA system, is not available in your ECC system. It says storage type, row store, column store. We have seen this in our second class, right? We have two categories of tables in HANA system, that is row store or column store. In ECC, we will only have row store. Since we don't have column store, this tab is not available at all in ECC systems. You will only have general properties tab. But since here you can change your property of the table, it's given here. Flexibility is given here. So by default, it will pick column store only. If you want to change, just select row store. That's it. But I want it to be a column store only, so I'll pick column store. Then I'll click on activate. See, it says activation of technical settings is successful. So all the messages in SAP are shown at the bottom left corner here itself. So it doesn't matter whatever the message is, error message and successful message are shown here. Information messages are shown as a pop-up. So any doubt till now, guys? Anyone on table creation, data element, domain, etc.? Okay. So we have successfully created our table, but we were getting some warning message, right? It says enhancement category is missing, this one. So let's try to remove this also. Let's not have any warning message also in our system. So how to remove my enhancement category? I'll go to extras. From extras you see enhancement category here. This is the enhancement category. So this means in future, if anyone wants to add any particular field into my SAP system, like or add any other structure into my table, that is called as enhancement. So I want it to be enhanced. Anyone should be able to put it back. So that's the reason I put it can be enhanced deep, or you can make it can be enhanced like numeric or character like, or cannot be enhanced. So these are all the options. Deep means the next person or you can edit as many number of times as you want to, anything that you can do, like you can do anything in this table. But if you put it as numeric, you can only add numeric data types here. Here you see data types as characters. Now we have added character types. So if you make it numeric, only numeric types can be added. If you put it as a character, only character types can be added. But we should give flexibility to everyone. That's the reason we use can be enhanced deep. Then copy. Now activate. So I'm not saving it. I'm not checking it. I directly activated it. See, active. Now I did not get any warning message at all. So this is how you enhance your table. So, but we were getting another information message. If you observed while activating it, we were getting the message saying that client is missing, right? So, in general, so this is how you normally create a table in SAP. Okay, these are the normal fields how you create a table. But there is a specific protocol also available in SAP that we should restrict our data. Let's say the table that you are creating is a general table that will be used across all locations, across all clients. Okay, in that case, we will not give the client name here. Okay, but if you want your data to be restricted only to this client, data security, in that case, we will have to add client name here. Okay, client name is nothing but your restriction. How to add your client name? Remember, client name should always be there on your first index. First column name should be your mandate, sorry, client name. Okay, the reason I haven't given it this that first in the beginning itself is because we want to create a table that is similar to this example that we were seeing. So now since we have created a table that is similar to this particular table that we have seen, now we'll try to add that restriction that the data inside this table should not be accessed by any other people from other clients. Okay. So for that reason, there is an icon here. You see, insert row. So it doesn't matter in SAP. Every icon, whenever you take it, your cursor into it, it will show you a small message at the bottom on what it does, right? Like this. All the icons will have it. So put your cursor on the first field name, then click on this insert row. Then you have delete row, paste, etc., etc. Those are we'll see as time goes whenever you want to use those. But now I want to insert my data, so I click on insert row. See, it inserted a dummy key, dummy field at the top. So here we'll have to give MANDT. This should always be your field name. The field name for client is MANDT. You should not use any other field names or data element names. Okay, MANDT. Data element is also MANDT. So if you see, this is starting with M. Why? Because this is created by SAP. This is not created by ABAP team or SAP consultant. This is delivered by SAP. This is created by SAP. This is a standard object. See, last changed by whom? Last changed in 1995 by SAP. Right, so here you will see the name of the person who changed it. So this is an object delivered by SAP has created it. So like this we will have many standard objects in system that SAP will, because of which it becomes easier for us rather than creating multiple objects every time. We have these standard objects already available in the system. We can reuse those, instead of creating our custom objects we can reuse those. So here I'm reusing my mandate, MANDT. So it says client, right? Here client. So even if I go here, data type, see it has a domain. The domain name is also MANDT, and the data type is client, CLNT3. So if I want to create a new data element or a domain, then also you can create it. The data type should be client, but no one will do it. Why will we create a new object when SAP is already giving it, right? So first it should be MANDT. This will make sure that my data is restricted to only this particular client. So then save, check and activate, or directly activate. See, I'm not getting that pop-up anymore. Earlier I was getting a pop-up that please specify the client for your table, but now I'm not getting it. Right? This is how you create a table. So any doubt anyone in whatever we've seen till now? So you can either unmute or you can type in your chat. Okay, cool. So we'll just see one last topic that is called as a table maintenance. Okay, also called as a table maintenance generator, TMG. So now we have created my table. Everything is cool, right? So after creating the table, what is the next step? I'll have to add my entry into the data into the table. Correct? Table maintenance. This is also called as TMG, which stands for table maintenance generator actually. So let me put table maintenance generator. Table maintenance generator TMG. So the purpose of TMG is to maintain data into my table. So whenever we want to maintain any data into my table, we have to create a TMG for it. Maintenance is nothing but like what we told you, create, change, modify. Sorry, create, change, and delete. All these three things are called as maintenance. So for that, we have a series of steps that we have to follow. First, we have to go to utilities. Here, utilities, it says top. This is called as a ribbon, top ribbon. We'll have to select this. Then you see table maintenance generator. It says it's available here. Give me 1 minute. Okay. Yeah. So utilities, table maintenance generator. Just click on this. See, it took you to generate table maintenance dialog generation environment. So from here we can create our table maintenance generator, which is used to save our data. So authorization group, we will not use any authorization group. Always it is and NC. So like you can also see it from this F4 help again. You have this provision now. From here you can choose, but in general we will always use without authorization group. So it is this at the rate NC. In projects also you will use the same. Then we have to copy this. Table name should be your function group. So here give it, then maintenance step. You have one step, two step. I'll show you both. For now I'll show you one step. Since I'm using one step, I'm giving the overview screen as one. Then you have two options: standard recording routine, no user recording routine. I'll show you both again. So first, for now I'll show you standard recording routine. I'll click on create. See, again it's asking me for a package to save it. So every object, by now you should be understandable that every object that you create in SAP should be saved in a package, be it a temporary package or a normal custom package, right? It should be there in a package, should be saved in a package. So I'll click on save. It says the object does not exist, but we want to create it, right? So that's the reason, yes. So then it says assign a package. Then I'll click on local object again. So now it's generating my TMG. Is extendable without limits. Cool. That's what we wanted to do. Like it's extended now. So this is how you create a TMG. This is called as a table maintenance generator. Let me show you again. First utilities, then TMG, table maintenance generator. This is the screen you will end up in. Since we have already created, this is how it looks like. So authorization group, NC. Function group should be the same name that you gave here. For the table name and function group should be same. Then package, temporary package. Say it's just temporary objects here also. Never transported. You cannot transport it now. Temporary package cannot be transported. So it says never transported. Then maintenance type, one step. Maintenance screen, I want one overview screen. So one. recording routine, I'll tell you what recording routines are. First, I'm choosing standard recording routine. So this is how you create a table, technical settings, how you create a data element, how to create a domain, and how to create a table maintenance generator. So all these steps might, feel like there are more steps in creating the table, but once you get habituated, now it will only take 5 minutes for you to create a table. Only 5 to 10 minutes. That's it. Once you are aware of it. So I request you all, because see, this is one concept of creating the table by using data elements, domains, etc., etc. So once the complete table concept is completed, I'll give you one assignment. So this will continue throughout our course. That once we complete the a concept thoroughly from end to end, I'll give you one assignment. So this assignment will be similar to the project requirement that you will be getting in your projects, right? So the more number of assignments you're able to complete, the more exposure you will have towards the SAP. Okay, so these objects or these assignments that I'm going to give you, these assignments you can also show it on your resume, right? So like for example, you can put a heading saying that few developed objects in my previous organization, put all the objects that you have created here, right? You can put as created a custom employee table which is used to store my employee data, or created a custom program to for so and this, created a custom form for so and this and this. So each and every assignment that I'm going to give you is a project development that you can showcase in your resume, and you can also explain it to your interviewer. So please keep practicing and never miss your assignments. Okay, so it is for you people I'm preparing these assignments. Okay, if you are having any doubts while preparing the assignments also, see, once a batch is formed, once you've completed your registration completely, we'll be creating a WhatsApp group. So in that WhatsApp group, you can post your questions also. Like if you're stuck at any given point of time, if you're getting any errors while creating any object, you can post those errors in that WhatsApp group. Either me, or we will also have other people from the same batch now in the same group. So either me or they will help you out in dealing with that error, or why that error is coming, how to fix that error. So all these things will be done like once we have completed the registration. So that is the reason I am, again and again telling you people to please complete your registration quickly. You will also get this documentation over the Google form or OneDrive. Again, that can only be shared once your registration is complete. You will also get your server details. Okay. Yeah, that's all for today, guys. Anyone has any questions in general, or uh, on the topic that we've covered today? Yeah, Vamshi.
Yeah. Can I talk to you personally? You have a number to send me?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. After this class, I'll just give you a call.
Okay.
Huh.
Okay. Guys, anyone else?